welcome to my channel, or back to my channel if you have been here before. Today I'd like to show you a little bit about distressing. So I've done a lot of this table already, but I want you to get the gist of it. So I'm going to show you how I distress the majority of my items, and it has to do with sandpaper. And then I'm also going to show you some other things you can do after you distress to further make your item look awesome. So hang out with me and we will get started. Let me zoom you in. Okay, so as you can see right here, this edge is already distressed. And by distressed, basically I mean it's been painted and then, or stained, but this has actually been painted. And then I've taken sandpaper and I've sanded off some of the paint. And I've done it on the places that stick out a little bit more. So if this was a really old piece of furniture, which is actually refurbished, so it could be an old piece of furniture for all I know. But if it was a really old piece of furniture, these would be the areas that would have got dinged up and, you know, would have the paint kind of coming off. And that's the whole point of the distressed look. So then down here you can see I've also done it on the blue part. And as we turn it, let's see here, you can see it along here and then along here. Let me see if I can, yeah, there you go. Hopefully that's light enough for you guys to see. See how I did it across the middle, and then, you know, as we zoom back, you might not be able to see, but I did it there. Pretty much anywhere that there was an indentation or something sticking out, I distressed. There's a little indentation right there that I did not distress because I forgot, so I'll have to do that here in a minute too. But let's go ahead and get started. What you need to distress with is some sandpaper, and I'm just using a used piece of sandpaper from my orbital sander. It's a fairly low grit. It's probably like maybe 80 grit or something, maybe 60 or 80. And then I have my other sandpaper, which I believe is 400. This torn part does not say, but it's for wet sanding and dry sanding, and I'm pretty sure it's 400. A lot of people just stop with 220. 220 is great. 400, you can't even barely tell it's sandpaper, but it really just kind of smooths everything out. So let me show you how to do this. I'm going to turn it to the spot that I haven't sanded, of course, or haven't distressed. Right, and we'll zoom you in a little bit here so you can see what's going on and take you down. And if you hear my kiddos in the background, just enjoy. Yes. Okay, so there we go. So first what I'm going to do is start out with my sandpaper with the grit that's not very fine. So we'll say, what, 60 grit, 80 grit, I'd say maybe 60. 60 is fine. So we're just going to start, and we're just going to go along the edges. So let's see if you can kind of just go along the edges. And you'll go along the edges until you can see the wood peeking through. Now, there's other ways to, or other looks that you can get from this type of distressing. If you were to say paint, if I was to have, after I put the blue on, if I was to have then put, you know, a couple clear coats on over it, and then put another color of paint over it, then distressed, then I'd have the color, I'd have this blue color peeking through, as long as I didn't like push too hard when I was distressing. So there's a lot of different looks, and I'm going to show you guys. Not on this video, obviously, but throughout our time together, I will show you the different looks. Also, just keep in mind that if you do like any of these furniture projects, feel free to leave me a comment. I would love it if you subscribe, join my little YouTube family here. If you're local to Spokane, I'm in Spokane, Washington. You can find my items under Angela Sawyer in Facebook Marketplace. I'm also, well, I'm trying some new sites right now. I'm on 5 Mile, Let Go. Yeah, there's several, and then I also have a Facebook page. So it's Sawyer Designs. But yeah, if you like any of these projects, just, let me know if you'd like to purchase one, and I'd be happy to give you a good price. And if you have questions about the projects, you are more than welcome to ask them, and I will definitely get back to you and answer the question. And if it requires me to make a video to answer your question, then, I'll make a video. If you're one of my pals, one of my people that I actually know outside of, the YouTube world, no offense to strangers, but my mom said not to have strangers in your house and show them how to do crafts. No, I'm just kidding. But hey, if you want me to show you one of these things and you're like on my, Facebook or whatever, let me know. You can come over and bring a piece of furniture and we'll work on it together. This is really fun for kids as well. It's just easy stuff. What I'm using right now is chalk paint. It's the type of paint that I use to paint this with. I've done a couple videos on chalk paint basics, and then also what my recipe is for chalk paint. Now, when you're going, I want to make sure you guys can still see. When you're going down along edges that are closer to other pieces that are painted that say, like, I don't want to scratch this right here. A little scratch is fine as long as it doesn't cut all the way through the blue. Unless I'm looking for that sort of look, but normally you'd want it to go the grain of the wood when you're distressing, not just random. So I'm just really carefully going down the side here, making sure that this edge is not touching this part. You just have to be careful. And you don't want to forget, the parts that you're not looking at, such as, underneath. I mean, you don't want to do underneath, but like the other side of the leg here. And, just the base of it a little bit. Because it comes up a little bit. There's legs, so you can definitely see the base. I'm going to run our sandpaper over that. Please excuse my lack of enthusiasm today. I usually record my videos earlier in the day because I'm like a early to bed, early to rise kind of person, or I don't know, an old fart, whatever. I don't mean that rude. I just mean like I go to bed early and I get up early, so half the time I'm making a video. There you go, tell you not to rub it, and I just rubbed it right there. We'll fix that. But no, I'll get up at like 3 in the morning, so usually I'm making these videos when I first had coffee, and it's, I don't even know, 3 o'clock or something, and that's like almost my cutoff time. No, I don't go to bed at 3, but I'm like done for the day, start helping kiddos with homework or whatever else. Make dinner, we do dinner a little bit earlier. Early to bed, early to rise makes young men and women healthy, wealthy, and wise. Plus, if you get up early when you're a parent, most of the time your kids aren't up yet, so you get a little bit of time to yourself. And that I do enjoy, though I love my kiddos. Okay, so you might notice here that I have kind of scratched a little bit because I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. I was talking to you. And so what I'm going to do now, and I would do this anyway, but this is what your finer grit sandpaper is for, your 220, your 400, whatever. Is you want to go back over your areas that you just distressed, that you just sanded, and just kind of smooth them out a little bit. And as you smooth them out, this, like I said, is chalk paint. So when you run sandpaper over chalk paint, it is going to leave kind of a chalky look. Once you wipe it off with water or even just with a towel, then you're not going to see that chalky look. And once you clear coat it, which you do need to clear coat your anytime you paint something with chalk paint, it does need to be clear coated, but then the coating lasts. It's so durable. It's awesome. So once you clear coat it, you don't see the chalkiness of the chalk paint. You just see it when you sand it. So there's that part. Let's go ahead and get this top up here. I hope that's not too dark. It looks like it's dark. Whoa. Okay, there we go. So now I'm just going to get along this top part up here. And I'm just kind of showing you guys as I do this, just so you can, see the technique, I guess, like, how hard I push, what I do when I screw up, the basics of distressing with sandpaper. Everybody used to want everything new, and now we take things that are new and make them look old. Alright, so that was pretty easy. Now I'm just going to go back over it with my finer grit. There we go. Okay. And over this here real quick. Go over this. The parts on the bottom and top. Yeah. And, oh, goodness gracious. I missed a spot. I missed this corner right here. Let me bring you down. You're going down. I'm calling timber. No, I'm just kidding. I'm a bad singer. Don't ever replay that part. Okay, and we're just going to sand the edge. The edges are pretty easy because it's just very, very quick. And the cool thing is, what I like about the distressed look is it just kind of brings out all of the features of the table or the item that you're distressing, Without this sanded here, maybe you wouldn't notice that there was a little, maybe you still can't notice because my darn camera's so dark, but if there's, there's a little indentation and there's, some I don't know, different things going on along the edges, which, by the way, I forgot to sand this one. So I'll just do that too. And you can't see. And there you go. If you do live in the Spokane area and you want to get together with me, like I said before, and just do some kind of furniture restoration classes, or not really restoration, but furniture rehab classes with me, just let me know. And if we can get enough people together, maybe we'll turn it into a thing. Whatever that means. Okay, so there. We have it. All of the edges and indentations. This is where the drawer goes, so you can't see down there anyway, so never mind. All the edges and indentations are sanded. Now I could leave it like this and clear coat it, and I think it would look great. That's how a lot of people do it. Something that I really like to do. Let me zoom you out. Okay, or maybe is that zooming you out or zooming you in? Oh, there we go. Goodness gracious. I'll get this thing figured out. So one of the things that I really like to do after I distress something, rather than just leaving the wood like raw underneath, just the raw wood color, I like to put stain over it. And it looks really neat because the stain will it'll tone down the blue. Not that it's a real bright blue, but it's, I don't know. I like my things a little bit more aged and just more naturally kind of colors. So we've done glazing before, and if you haven't seen my video on glazing, feel free to check it out. I'll link it at the end here. But one of the things that I like to do once I sand distress is to take and put stain over it. So the advantage to putting stain over black paint is it makes the paint like absorbs the stain, and it's because it's chalk paint, and it just kind of makes it look slicker and almost like black stained wood instead of just like black painted wood. And then the stain over the blue is just going to kind of tone the blue down a little bit. Now, in my last glazing video, I suggested that you put a clear coat over your paint before you glaze it. That depends, as I think I said, it depends on the type of stain that you're using, like how thick it is it like triple coat thick or is it just normal, and then how deep you want the stain to penetrate. So I've already done a little test section, and I don't want to clear coat this because I like the look of it without a clear coat. I like the look of the blue when it soaks in the stain. And by the way, I'm going to be using a dark brown stain, but when it's wiped off the wood, you'll see that it just leaves a little bit of a residue behind that lets the wood look a little bit more aged and just not quite as bright. So here in a minute, I will show you how I stain after I sand distress. Now the reason I say sand distress is because there are several different ways of distressing, and I'll show you guys that too. So keep watching, and I will show you what I'm going to do next with this piece of furniture. Thank you for now, and also just a reminder, I would love it if you subscribed or liked or shared or any of those things. That would make my day. So have a good one, and I will see you again soon with an update on this piece. And also, just kind of a sneak preview, this piece of furniture here, a table, yeah, does that look familiar at all? Yeah, maybe? Oh, we got a couple things going on. Alright, so this is a table that I painted with the paint that was, I showed you guys how to, I'm at a loss for words. Why am I making a video today? I showed you guys how to mix Rit dye in with the chalk paint to tint it. And this paint was actually like a tan color, and I mixed a bunch of green Rit dye into it, and now it's like this really cool sagey color. So I'm not done with this table yet. I've kind of set it aside. I wanted to show you guys what I was going to do next. So coming very soon, you're going to see the video on what happens with this table. Dun, dun, dun. And then if you live in the Spokane area or want to pay like a crazy amount for shipping or want to drive over here, you can purchase the table. And if you didn't see the video, check it out. But also, this area right here is going to get filled. And as I've said before, I change my mind on what I'm going to do on projects. So guess what? I changed my mind. So what I said in the last one about these spots right here, it's going to change just a little bit. So stay tuned to see how it changes. All right, peace out and have a good day, and thank you for watching.